are some really big dead giveaways that just really lower the professionalism of a business and really make you wonder if they're even in business or if they're even a business. Now, and some of these, like, it's such an easy fix. Hey, what's up? It's Torie Mathis, your host, and I'm here with the one and only Sean Mathis.
What's going on?
Founder of Miles Through Time Automotive Museum.
That's me. So, because of that title, I get a shitload of emails all the time to my Miles Through Time email address. And a lot of them are them trying to sell me stuff that we do already, which is why Miles Through Time is so successful. It's really easy for me to differentiate.
So just in case people don't know, we have a marketing agency. So we do branding and we do marketing, we do web design. So SEO, so people contact Sean all the time.
All the time.
Trying to get, those services.
And I would say at least 90% of those emails I get come from a Gmail account. They are not a professional email whatsoever. And because of that, I would say 90% of those aren't even real companies.
Probably, right.
They're probably just some random person that may or may not provide any kind of service, but, out there poking to try to get some money from some stuff or from people that don't know any better. But that email is a dead giveaway, and it's very common.
There are some really big dead giveaways that just really lower the professionalism of a business and really make you wonder if they're even in business or if they're even a business. Now, and some of these, it's such an easy fix. And so obviously it's good that these are red flags that we need to watch out for. And it's easy to be ignore that one. But when it's legit businesses that are doing these mistakes, you guys, you got to fix this stuff. It's easy.
Even it's a real business, right? But their business card is so terrible, it makes me wonder, are you really into it? Is this what they're really wanting to do? Or is this something they're doing while they're not working somewhere else? Whatever the case may be. And I actually just talked to somebody about the business cards that they had gotten. And she drew the whole business card up for her husband, which is a handyman type business, right? Drew a ruler along the bottom and the logo and put all the stuff on there. And it was, decent for an amateur. And she gave it to a company that was supposed to print the business cards for her. That company completely changed the card, other than the ruler on the bottom. But she wanted a black card and the text to be white. From what I can tell, this lady didn't have that capability.
The printer?
The printer.
Oh, okay.
So she didn't even give her an option to print it that way. And she completely changed the layout. And you'll love this. Centered everything.
Well, some designs can be centered.
Not this one.
Yeah. Some things it makes it very, very difficult. If you use Comic Sans or if you center everything and if you shove everything along the edge, it definitely is a clear sign.
So
that
it's centered. It's not printed how she wanted it. Things are very close to the edge. And it is printed on such a thin cardstock that it instantly bends and creases and just does not look good. And the ink rubs off on these cards.
Oh, no.
And she paid for 100 of them. She didn't pay very much, but she definitely got what she paid for. And
I don't think that people need to spend a whole lot of money on business cards.
It doesn't take a whole lot.
However, because a lot of people don't really use them, they don't they end up in a box on a shelf forever. But if you do have a business that that's your thing that you need to send out, that you hand out a lot of business cards, you need to make it like you care.
Mm-hmm.
That means don't make it look like you printed it in, your printer in your office, because good business cards aren't really that expensive at all. We've been printing business cards for clients for a bazillion years. And you can get a set of business cards for... Sean does our business card pricing. Not very much.
A 16 points, like $67 delivered.
For it's 1,000 cards,
1,000
though.
cards.
Most people don't need 1,000 cards. So
14 points, only $56.
But that's still for it. Like, a lot of people don't need 1,000 cards. But you don't have to spend a lot of money. You got to be careful on these little things that you're not coming across as not being professional. Because when you do come across as not being professional, then it's really easy for people to discount you and to want to pay you less and to not treat you seriously. And so, beginner or not, like, you need to go pro from the very beginning. And if you're going to send out business cards, like, make sure that they're a decent one. If you are going to be emailing, which everybody in business is, then you need to get a professional email and not email people from your Gmail.
Which means you should probably have a professional website.
Well, yes, absolutely. And I think these days it's really easy to get a website. You could probably even build one yourself that is not that bad with some of the templates that are out there. I think a bigger thing that makes people look unprofessional is having a really old website that they haven't updated, that's like falling apart. It's got Flash on the top. It doesn't work on phones. Like, that's a really big sign that, maybe you don't care, or maybe you're not in business anymore. And it can be a really easy fix.
Yeah, I was looking at, for something else that we're doing, various softwares out there, and I was Googling whatever software is available out there. And almost every website I found that was offering these different softwares, and I was searching on my phone, first of all, so none of them were mobile, and they all looked like they were from the early 2000s.
Well, and if you're using software, you want something that is going to be modern.
No, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's the things I was looking for, like email integration, all that. Some of these websites, it was like a toll-free number, and that was the only way I can get a hold of them. I'm like, I don't want this dinosaur software.
Right. What year is this?
Right.
It's 1982
brutal.
when I have to call.
Yeah. So then it makes me wonder, I'm like, is this a residual website from decades ago? Mm-hmm. Or is this really what they're pushing right now?
Yeah, that's kind of a little bit like, if you're not going to update your website, are you really going to update your software to make it like work properly these days?
Well, I know you can buy a domain for X amount of dollars per year,
less than $10,
or some of these people, they're purchasing the domain for 10 plus years, and what happens on that is the website. The business fails in a year or so, that domain doesn't go away. Because they paid for it still, right? So it just becomes this really old website that's out there, and you never really know what to expect. So
yeah, another thing that really shows that you may not be in business anymore, or maybe people are going to doubt your professionalism, is a lack of consistency. And this lack of consistency, oh my goodness, can go across, it can be like social media posts, like somebody that maybe posted a whole bunch and then never posted again, or people that post very sporadically. So just being a little bit consistent in your marketing and things that you do is really going to bump up your professionalism. One thing that people do that's very inconsistent, and we see this all the time, is that they don't actually have a logo. I am a true believer that you do not need some crazy expensive, super fancy logo. If you just want to use a piece of clip art, do it. I have no problem with it. Make sure that it is a big enough file that it works for everything, so it doesn't get all pixelated or funky looking, right? Because that does happen a lot. But just go with whatever you pick. Because we have a lot of people that we start to work with, and we start looking at their things, and their business card has one logo, and then their website has one logo, and then on social media their logo is cut off because it's a square space for their profile pic, but it doesn't fit in there, so they just chopped it off at the side. You know what I mean?
I think it might be whoever they have doing it is going and pulling some sort of clip art type thing for whatever specifically it is that they're working on. If it's their business card, they're putting an image in there for their business and calling it good that way. And then they have somebody else doing, their website or something, and they're pulling some other image in there because they didn't go and create some sort of consistent
Right.
logo or
If somebody
way
designs
to
something
do
for
it.
you, you need to get the raw file of whatever that is, whether it's a piece of clip art or it's a little logo that they made. Like, they have the artwork that they printed. It doesn't mean that you take a picture of it with your phone or, or you clip it off your website. It doesn't work that way. You have to have the actual file, like an actual nice large file so that you can work with it. Whenever I don't do a lot of logos. It is not my favorite thing in the world to do. But when I do logos for people, I make sure that there are various versions of logos because it is like a requirement now that like you need these logos in different ways. For example, for your social media profiles and things like that, you need a square version, something that fits into and is readable very, very small. Because if you take your phone and look at a profile picture on like Facebook or something, it's very small. So you need to make sure that it works at that size. Now, a square logo like that is not going to work very well at the top of a website. It's generally horizontal. So whenever I do a logo for somebody, I make sure that I design them a square version and a horizontal version. Now you may be thinking, well, I can't afford to have you, design me a logo. There are designers out there that want to design things. They love designing logos. You can go to Fiverr and probably get a decent little logo for $100, for $50. I don't know, not that much.
No.
But whoever is doing this for you, just make sure you get the things that you need for them. So that way you have what you need to use. So you're not trying to pull these random things all over, because being consistent across your marketing is going to build trust and make you more professional across everything that you do.
Same with like one color logo is most likely going to be your most cost effective way if you wanted to do T-shirts or any other kind of
so we do
apparel type stuff.
This is
like
a normal shirt. So we do shirts for Miles Through Time for the car shows. And you should see some of the crazy shit that people email us because we need their logo to put on the shirts. And so people will like photocopy their logo from their like business card and send it to us.
Yeah, I've been given business cards and there's my logo. What the hell do you want me to do with that?
Luckily, I am the master of recreation and I can recreate anything. And so every time I do this, I have to recreate these people's logo in one color so that we can use it on the T-shirts.
And to be honest, I don't think some of them, they're not their logos. I mean, they don't have a logo.
And again, you don't have to have a logo, but then just pick one font. And that's going to be your font that you use. And it's always going to be, done a little bit the same, like same kind of size, whatever it is, just be consistent at what you're doing.
Which means that font should be in a JPEG format or something that they can put it as an image, because otherwise, if you're typing stuff, it's going to be Times New Roman or something like that.
Right. Well, and if you're using it on social, like you need a picture, a JPEG, of an image of your logo for you to be able to use on places. So if you have a designer or if you have somebody that's designed you anything, just ask for these things. And most people are really cool that they'll give you what you need. It's just if you don't ask for them, and if they're not somebody, like if they're a freelancer or somebody that's a kid or something, whatever that's doing it, and all of a sudden they're gone, and then you don't have the artwork files, like get your artwork files, ask, get various versions, and then it's going to make your life a lot easier as a business owner trying to market yourself and trying to make yourself look professional. What other things do you see that are...
Email and website's huge.
One thing that I noticed is that if people don't respond to their reviews, especially bad ones, anywhere, like that to me is a red flag on how they conduct themselves, or if there's a crazy response of somebody going off. And we've seen these, like
the owner doing it,
the business owner like retaliating and getting very defensive. You kind of have to wonder, like,
what's that all about?
What's that going on? To me that's a sign too that you might not be as professional as you want. And if you are somebody that's coming into someone's house, or if you are dealing with someone's children, like you really need to put your professional pants on, because nobody wants some shitty person with their kids or in their house.
Yeah, I would say with that point, customer service is huge for me. So if you own that business and it's either you running it or you've got employees running it, their customer service has to be top notch. You go into a grocery store and you got the cashier that looks like you're inconveniencing them there when you're trying to just buy your groceries. You got people that don't want to. It looks like they're absolutely miserable serving you their food or your food. And granted, it might not be their favorite job in the world, but they got to put that face on and at least make it seem like customers are appreciated. Because I can promise you, if you've ever gone into an establishment and the people working there made you feel welcome, you want to buy something from them. I've bought so many damn cars and gone into so many different car dealerships. Again, I'm at that 90% of them are absolutely terrible. They have been the worst places to go into because they suck. They don't want to deal with me. They see my age. They see the car I pull up in. Whatever the scenario is, it hasn't been good most of the time at car dealerships. And, you compound that by a bunch of customers and how much money have they lost because of that crap. And you can look at YouTube and watch. There's all kinds of videos out there of people just going, hey, this dealership doesn't think they can buy a car. And then, even if they can't or can, treat them all the same.
One of the best dealership ones that we had, we showed up in a Ford Focus. And we bought a Lexus. And we were young as hell.
That's true.
And they were so freaking nice. Like that, I would want to buy a Lexus all the time because it was definitely different than when we went and bought any other car.
No, see, and they could have easily been like, these people are wasting my time. And they would have lost out on a pretty pricey sale.
Because we had people tell us that we didn't deserve that car. Yeah. We were too young to deserve a car like that. Yeah, it was too nice for us.
There's really no reason to be a turd about interacting with your customers.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is. I wonder, though, if some business owners and things don't realize how their customers really are, how their employees are really trusting, treating their customers.
Sometimes it's the damn owner. I had Truett, who's one of the executive directors at the museum. He was going to a local hardware store to buy some bag of manure or something. I don't know what the hell it was. Okay. But he did the old school call and talk to this guy about the prices of these bags of manure, we'll call it. I don't remember what the hell it was. It was something like that.
Okay.
And the guy was a dick about it. And he told him, and apparently this was not the price that these things used to be. And the guy's like, well, that's the price it is now. And Truett's a super nice guy, and he can deal with, changes in various, atmospheres of, this is the economy now, so the price has to go up. But this guy was such a dick about it, he wound up going to Home Depot instead. So
wow.
And that's not something he does. Like he would prefer to go to the smaller local hardware type store. And this guy that's the owner that was running the front counter was such an ass, he lost his business. And we're talking not a bag. He needed to buy like a pallet worth of these things.
Really?
Man,
and he probably won't go back there again.
He won't. Yeah. And he's telling me the story, and he's like,
and
now
the guy
we're telling
you, don't go see him. He's a jerk.
Yeah.
Riley and I went. Bella had to go to a birthday party, and so Riley and I went and hung out. So we grabbed our computers and we went to a little local coffee shop that we hadn't been to, and worked on some stuff. Riley did some video games, and we had lunch, and we had some chai lattes, and hung out. And the guys that were running the thing and that were like getting the coffees and everything, to me, they may have been the owners and maybe they're understaffed. And so it seemed like they were not usually the ones to do it. Now, they could have easily been kind of rude about it or whatever, but they were they were a little apologetic. They were very nice about it, even though they were very scattered and everything. But because they kind of let us know kind of what was going on, he's like, I'm not the one that normally does this. I'm sorry. We're like, it's fine. Like, if you just come, even if you don't know what you're doing, or even if you're having a hard time because prices are increasing, like, there's a way to do it and a way not to do it. And if they would have been all scattered like that, but have been like the poo-poo guy, like, we wouldn't have wanted to come. Riley was like wanting to go back there yesterday.
The next day.
He's like, let's go back there. They're really nice. I like that place. So it can be a bad situation or an inconvenient situation that you can easily flip with some decent customer service. It really does make a difference on if people want to come back or not. Absolutely. So all of these things are, a lot of them really, really quick fixes that you can do to your business that will make you look a lot more professional. Not very hard to get an email. Not very hard to be a little bit more consistent. So sometimes you just need to think about these things and maybe check yourself. Look down some of these things and see where you actually are stacking up with them. And it could be just a couple of little changes that are going to get you more clients, that are going to get you more customers, and long-term customers, people that want to come back rather than run away from your business.
Which is what you want.
Absolutely.